Alright, today we're going to be solving and graphing two-step inequalities. So I want to remind you that if you have less than or greater than, it's going to be used with an open circle, and if you have less than or equal to with the line underneath, or greater than or equal to with the line underneath, that's going to use a closed circle on the number line. Alright, so we are going to first solve this inequality and then we'll graph it. This works in the same way that you would solve a two-step equation. So just like you would with a two-step equation, you would get rid of this minus 3 first by adding 3 to both sides. Alright. And the minus 3 and plus 3 cancel out as it goes to 0. The 4x gets dragged down. And 13 plus 3 is 16. Your last step here would be to divide by 4 because 4 over 4 reduces to 1. So you could write 1x or you could just write x, either way. And then our sign stays the same when we drag it all the way down. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we get x is less than 4, and then we just go ahead and plot it on a number line. So put 4 here, 5, 6, 3, 2. Since it's just less than with no or equal to sign, I have an open circle and it's telling me less than, which means I shade to the left. And you'll notice since my variable's on the left, my symbol and my arrow pointing in the same direction. All right, let's look at another example. So x over 3 plus 4 is greater than or equal to 12. Alright, so same thing. You want to add or subtract first. So to get rid of this plus 4, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. The positive 4 and negative 4 go to 0. So then we have x divided by 3 is greater than or equal to 12 minus 4 is 8. And then my last step is to get rid of this divide by 3, and the opposite or inverse of divide is multiply. So I multiply both sides by 3. The 3 over 3 reduces to 1. So 1x, 8 times 3 is 24. So I get x is greater than or equal to 24. Alright, and then to plot this on the number line, put 24 in the middle. 25, 23. Now this time, since it's got the line underneath, that means I'm going to shade in the circle. And greater than means I'm going to shade to the right. And again, you'll notice variable on the left, symbol and arrow that's shaded match. All right, let's look at another example. Okay, so here, same thing. We're going to subtract 10 both sides, get x by itself. So we drag down the negative 3x less than or equal to 6, divide by negative 3. So to get rid of that negative 3, so we have x, and stop for a minute. Off to the side, I want you to star. Flip the symbol, talking about the inequality symbol, when you divide or multiply by a negative number. So on this example here, we had to divide by a negative 3. Anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality symbol. So it currently says less than or equal to. We need to flip it to greater than or equal to since we divided by a negative. And 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And now we can go ahead and plot negative 2. And we know our circle is shaded because of the or equal to, and we know that it's pointing to the right since it's greater than. One last example. Okay, so remember how there was a condition to how you shade inequalities. In order for the symbol and the arrow that's shaded to match, the variable has to be on the left. And same for solving equations. So on this inequality, since the variable is on the right, we need to go ahead and change that up first. So I'm going to bring this 5 minus 2x to the left, and this 3 on the right. Now you have to be very careful. When I flip this around, I need to make sure that my inequality symbol is still opening towards the 5 minus 2x. So that means if I flip these two expressions here, then I need to flip my symbol. So notice that it's still opening towards the 5 minus 2x. So now I can go ahead and solve. In order to get x by itself, I need to do the addition or subtraction first. Since that's a positive 5, I need to subtract 5 from both sides. Remember, it's okay to subtract. That doesn't switch our symbol here, only when we multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, so that canceled. We drug down negative 2x. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Last step, here we go again. To get rid of this negative 2, we have to divide by negative 2. So since I divided by a negative, I'm going to switch my symbol again. Negative 2 over negative 2 is positive 1. So last step, go ahead and graph it. It's a closed circle, and since the variable's on the left, it's less than. Means I shade to the left. My symbol and my shaded arrow match.